All right. So late last night, I did a video about dating, right? And it was meant to be like men and women's side of dating, what dating is like right now. And I really don't remember what came out, like as far as like everything that I said in that particular reading. But I haven't gone back. I haven't edited it yet. When I'm channeling, I don't necessarily remember everything I said. But I really felt like the female energy wasn't represented. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's important why necessarily. I feel like in order to make sure that that video is like thorough and or like complete, I feel like I need to shoot another video where I ask the female energy to this time talk more about how they feel, and to see if we can see, you know, some of the issues, the disconnect in modern dating right now, and the reason why people feel the way they do about it. Well, having said that, I feel like I've felt like that about it for a while. But I think sometimes it really does depend on the energy you're in. I feel like sometimes when you're already ready to settle down, dating can just seem kind of like a waste of time, especially if you feel like for some reason it's not being done right or whatever. All right, so yesterday we got a bunch of cards, and then we had some extra cards, right? And the male energy was talking more, and the female energy was on the top, and the male energy was on the bottom. This is how I feel. So and then there was that row of the energy in the middle. So this time what I want to do is I want to put the male energy on the top and the female energy on the bottom, and then we'll put the energy in between in the middle. But I'm inviting the female energy to do most, if not all, of the talking in this reading. So we're gonna see what comes out here. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. And I do feel like these messages are a little repressed for some reason. It's almost like because the female and the male energy are having so much of a hard time with each other, it's almost like there's this like force that's causing them to not want to really come together, to not want to come together. So, so we have this Fool here upright. So remember now, this is the male energy and this is going to be the female energy. We want the female to do most of the talking, okay? So we have the Fool, and then we have this Ace of Wands. We have the King of Swords upright. We have the Knight of Swords upright. We have the Eight of Wands in reverse. We have this Four of Pentacles, and then we have this Two of Swords. And then on the female side, we have this Nine of Swords. We have Death in reverse. We have the Three of Pentacles. We have the Emperor. We have the Six of Wands in reverse. We have the Strength in reverse. And then we have the Lovers upright as our end card. And then for these extra cards, which I haven't even seen yet, we have the Three of Wands upright, Eight of Cups upright, Justice upright, the Magician in reverse, Knight of Pentacles upright, Seven of Wands upright, and Knight of Cups in reverse. Okay, so yes, I'm already seeing some things. I'm already seeing like the female energy speaking. This is interesting. So I will say that although I don't remember like all the complaints on the male side yesterday, I do feel like that energy was genuine. So even if it seemed like the typical complaints that men make or whatever, that's probably because they're genuine. Although, you know, again, it was that typical energy of something you would say about someone who's like annoying you or whatever. And as we're trying to pull these cards, we're not necessarily trying to make it seem any certain way. We're trying to portray the energy, hopefully, as it's coming out. I keep saying allegedly for entertainment purposes only. And, like I said, we'll see if we can make sense of why people feel the way they do about dating, right? So what I'm getting first, with this, I'm wheezing. It's the combination of the sage and a lot of stuff. I've been burning a lot of stuff lately, Palo Santo and stuff. So this Fool right here and this Knight of Swords. So the Fool is the male energy, and I feel like women are saying, and I have something in my eye, which is really weird. Hold on. Yeah, when stuff like this happens, I really do consider it like repressed messages. And especially because I had to ask this female energy to step forward again. It's very interesting. I don't feel like the male energy was dominating the female energy or anything like that. Like, I just didn't hear that voice. I just didn't see the presence. So here, they're talking about how when men act like fools. And you can kind of take that how you want that. I don't want to define fool here because everybody, perhaps acts like a fool differently. And, I think to a certain extent, everybody knows, at least when they're in a relationship, or if they have been in a relationship, when they're acting a certain way, their significant other doesn't like it. So I feel like there was a note of like nagging or something in the other one. I don't remember if that word is probably not the word I used, but some kind of something, some kind of like control or something. But I feel like here, this is like a helplessness. This is like watching you, do whatever. And I feel like to a certain extent, there's family involved. So it's kind of like watching you act like a fool and having to endure this, like being kind of stuck with this, because I'm picking up this death card as ride or die. Like, we started this and usually death is like, the ending and then the beginning of something. But, I feel like right now, I feel like this is kind of cycles. And so I feel like we're going through cycles. We're ride or die going through cycles, right? The male energy, through his, libido, is dragging us through this. I can't even argue with this. It's kind of like what we were talking about yesterday when the male energy was saying certain things. Like, I couldn't really argue with it, right? And we also talked about how sometimes men are in a female energy or a negative female energy, and sometimes women are in a male energy or a negative female energy. So right now we're just talking energies. So we're asking the female energy to speak, but we could be talking about a man right now. So just keep that in mind, okay? But this is what I'm getting. I'm getting, your libido is keeping me in these cycles because I'm ride or die, because I'm loyal. I'm stuck here with you, right? Watching you act like a fool. I feel like the last one went like that, like where these 4 cards were sort of tied together. And then we have this this King of Swords energy. I feel like when we're not warm as males, I feel like for the female, I feel like a lot of times they will still continue to work on it. They will still try to work on it. This card is almost coming off as like you holding up the relationship by yourself. Doing the work of 3 people, like juggling 3 pentacles to try to keep this thing alive. And then, so this is more of a coldness, and then this is more of a player energy for me. So we're down here as females going, hey man, I asked for an emperor and I got this frickin' Knight of Swords. Like this knight, But he's coming off as the Knight of Wands. Do we have the Knight of Wands? We have Knight of Cups in reverse. Knight of Pentacles upright. These are extra cards right now. No. We'll see if it comes out. But we do have Swords, Knights, or Cups, and Pentacles. So if it does come out, we've got all 4. I'm asking for more here. You're giving me like playtime. This doesn't require any effort. What is this card say? Hold on. Quick communication, rapid action, harsh words, reckless, intelligent, confidence. Reckless, and confidence. It's this card is, what I'm hearing is like Right Said Fred, like I'm too sexy for you. It's kind of like that kind of energy, right? Meanwhile, I'm asking for somebody who's responsible, who can manage stuff. and I'm getting, you know, this clown in a ripped shirt, right? So we got this Eight of Wands in reverse. So this was quick communication, and then this is like this rapid action in reverse with this Six of Wands in reverse. I'm just trying to see if this is a disappointment and slow energy, or if this is coming off as something else. It's not. It is. It's coming off as a slow energy, but it's weird. It's not swords, but it's coming off as like, hey man, you're a little slow. Like in the brain, you're a little slow. And then also, you know, when I need you to be there, when I'm asking you to be there, you're a little slow, right? This whole come as you are thing isn't working out. I need you to step up. I mean, I get people wanting people to be accept people for who they are, but to a certain extent, I feel like when men were interested, and especially interested in like dating and like making things go further, they would step up. At least to a certain degree, ask a little bit more of themselves, right? So this Four of Pentacles, this is the male energy and the female energy. I do believe that the male energy accused the female energy of taking more than they were giving, or they taking too much, or taking and not giving to a certain degree. And it wasn't anything specific. It could have been love. It could have been money. It could have been anything, right? I did point out that sometimes when there is an even exchange and the men, you know, are going to work, but then that you're at home with the kids, like you physically can't work because you're taking care of these kids, you know, that there should be an even exchange. There should be, you know, both people, right? You would think or hope, at least if you're trying to stay together as a couple and you're not just trying to date, right? So I feel like this energy is the woman saying, listen, I'm tired of you acting like you don't want to, you know, you want everything free, like every man, you know, the one who dies with the most toys wins, like we have a family, or we have a thing, or you asked me to support you while you went through medical school. Like this is kind of like what I'm seeing. And now I'm a gold digger because you've been, you know, you're a doctor now, but when I wanted to go through nursing school, you weren't there for me. You were slow about it, or you didn't show up at all. That's harsh. I mean, yeah. that came out like real truth. And then, so then we have this Two of Swords. And again, you know, yesterday I do remember the King of Wands in reverse being like, hey, you know, nitpicking about something, or I can't remember exactly what they were saying, but then the female energy was like, hey, don't you realize like I'm your match? And I feel like that was kind of like the female energy saying like, why are you fighting with me? Don't you see me for who I am? Or don't you see that I'm supposed to be, or don't you see that I'm supposed to be with you? I don't necessarily, I'm not vouching for whether or not couples are matching up properly or anything like that, but that's the way the energy was coming out. Again, it's coming out that way from the female side of, hey, you know, open your eyes. If you this is what I'm trying to bring you. You seem to act like like it's something else, but you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention. Hey, don't you see that I'm your match? Like this, I'm getting this again. So let's pull the third row on this. Yeah, I would definitely say that the female energy is talking, and I am not hearing too much from the male energy, which is okay, because I do feel like the male energy did speak. But you know, we are also inviting the male energy to, if they want to add something, please by all means. So this Fool, and then this Nine of Swords here, right? This, hey man, I'm tired of you acting like a fool. Oh my god. The energy between them is the Fool. So yeah. this I feel like is confirmation that the female energy is correct. That at times when women get tired of saying, you know, when they say stop that or don't hang out with this person, or they get tired of being after somebody over and over again. And again, I'm not talking about the nitpicky stuff. I'm talking about maybe you think it's nitpicky, like maybe it's your shoes on the floor, right? And you think it's nitpicky, but she keeps tripping over them, right? Keeps tripping over them. I don't care if they're in a freaking corner, okay? She keeps tripping over them. Then you need to readjust how you feel about that. Because if she gets hurt or something happens because you didn't want to, you know, meet someone halfway, then again, I would say you're acting a fool. So, and again, I have heard of situations like that where someone was like, why is this here? Why is this here? And they kept tripping over it. And then they ended up needing to get surgery to fix the damage that was done from tripping over this stupid thing. So again, I'm in a relationship with you. I'm ride or die. I'm asking you to do something simple, but you can't do it because for some reason you want to pick that particular moment to stand your ground, and I'm suffering for it. Yet still, I'm ride or die. I'm working on this by myself. You're the King of Wands, or the King of Swords. Look at, I said King of Wands. He's not here yet. And then we have this Ten of Cups in reverse. Oh my God, this is okay. So remember, ride or die. You're, you know, leading me around with your libido, and then you're promising this. That's what I'm getting. You're promising this, and you're doing this. You act like we're going to be a family, but then you just want this, and then you go running off, and I'm supposed to respect you for that. Meanwhile, I'm asking for this. You're bringing this, and this, and this, and this. All right. A bunch of these cards did come out. So now we're at the Six of Pentacles upright. So typically this is kind of like a wanting to give card. But again, I'm just getting this as confirmation as you want to give me no's and this and that. And I want to give you, you know, I'm trying to work on this relationship here. I might want to pull more cards on that. Let me do this. All right. Seven of Cups in reverse with this King of Swords, or sorry, this Knight of Swords and this Emperor. Again, you know, I don't have a choice. Being ride or die, I don't have a choice. I'm subject to whatever you want to give me, whenever you want to give it to me, and then here we are without choice. Again, like I said, I am also picking up family involved here. This isn't just one person. When the female energy is speaking right now, we are talking about dating, but sometimes people are dating with children, and sometimes people are dating to have children. So this I would feel like these complaints are valid. So we have the Queen of Pentacles upside down. I feel like she came out in the other one too as an extra card. This is with the Six of Wands in reverse and that Eight of Wands in reverse. I'm just trying to, I was just trying to see if there was like a Seven of Wands energy here. Like on these cards. Oh, nope, sorry. It's on the extra cards. These are in reverse. Seven of Wands is upright, and our extra cards with this Queen of Wands. Yes, this is a sorry, Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Wow. So my slip here is kind of telling me too that in some cases, this is what happens when we start out with, let's say, the Queen of Cups, and then we end up with like the Queen of Wands. It's because we did that. Right now we have the Queen of Swords and the King of Cups getting ready to come out. But yeah, I feel like this constant friction, because you could have friction and it could work for you. Like when you have like a polarity, and sometimes it's described as like a polarity of male and female energy, but it's the polarity in the situation, however it may show up, as the thing that makes it desirable, this Lover's card, right? So that's why sometimes people say opposites attract. It's not necessarily opposites per se. It can be, or it can be in some way that's so strong that it creates that polarity that draws two people together. I've talked about magnets before. But this is also kind of like, this is a friction. So this isn't like something that is creating a drawing into. This is something that's like painful to experience. And this could be on the male or female side. I'm not getting this as strictly a female energy right now. I think to a certain extent it's painful to the men too, even if they are playing around. There's consequences for it, right? And then we have this the Four of Pentacles of stop, you're making me tired talking about and holding on to stuff that you say I'm tired of, we're tired of it. This Queen of Swords here, we're tired of it. Stop talking about it. We don't need your money like that. If we decide to make a decision and I stay home with the kids, don't turn on me and make it seem weird. It's not about that. Here again, I'm asking for love, and you're bringing this not knowing that whether or not you want to love me, this King of Cups upright. Make up your mind. I'm going to pull cards on that too. So we talked about these knights. See here, we got this Knight of Pentacles again. It's like this male energy and these extra cards of, well, I can't show up as like the King of Cups because you keep wanting my money. And they're just like, stop. We're not listening to that anymore. I'm looking at these two extra cards too. This Three of Wands and this Eight of Cups. And it's like the female energy is like, stop. We're telling you, stop. We're tired of listening to that. Right? We're done with that. I think to a certain extent, if you go back far enough, women really thought, or did, have to get married because they would starve to death if they didn't. And I think to a certain extent, the mentality is kind of still there, that if you're not pretty or you don't have some kind of talent, like you won't survive. And I think women are more resourceful than that. I think that the shift is a bunch of things. I think it is the way people treat each other, but I think it's also, mentalities and how roles have shifted. And I think it's also the fact that a lot of times people are posturing, even in friendships, and they don't really come forward with like what they really want or what they really feel or like what's really going on. And I think that's also why the woman, like the female energy in the other reading, like didn't really speak up, because I feel like the male energy started speaking up right away. And I think the female energy just kind of stood by. I think if we would have cleared the table and then like pulled all new cards, we would have seen maybe this, okay, you said your piece, now it's my turn kind of thing. I'm picking up that this ride or die card they're making them soar. Like, and again, you might tell me in the beginning of whenever we start dating it or whatever that you're excited about it, but you don't keep that up. You don't, in some cases, the male energy will go out of the way to tell the female energy that she's not attractive, just to hurt her self-esteem. I didn't pick that up as female energy. I picked that up as a fact. Sorry. I feel like that's an energy of inauthenticity, though. I feel like when people do stuff like that, it doesn't work out for them because they're not being truly themselves here. This Magician in reverse, you can't manifest what you want that way by pretending to be something and then trying to manifest something else. Or if you are trying to manifest that, pretending to be something might not be the way to go about it. We have that Queen of Pentacles upright, but we also got the Emperor in reverse, this Nine of Wands in reverse, and this Ten of Swords. It does not work out. And I feel like this is the female energy telling the male energy, hey man, when you come and you pretend like you have more of something, again, that thing we said we don't care about that you keep saying that we care about, but then you come and you act like you have more of it, you're not being authentic. You're drawing somebody to you who wants that, and then you're mad at them because they came for that. Meanwhile, that's what you drew. You're not addressing the rest of us, the people who don't want that, the people who came for love. Not addressing that and then calling it dating. This is what we said last time about make sure we told the male energy, make sure you're not going to the club and like hooking up and it's not working out for you and then calling that dating, because that's insulting. So I grabbed another deck. I want to see. I feel like there's more to be said here. I don't feel that the female energy is as sore about it as the male energy is. But I think it's because of what I said in the beginning of the other reading about how the female kind of, like, for lack of better words, like cues the male energy. I started out that reading by talking about how women are like asking men to come forward, and then men come forward, and then women acting like we don't need you, and then, you know, men not coming forward, and then women saying like, hey, what happened? Oh, how come they're not asking us out? And I said I feel like that's why the male energy was, so it was almost like from then on in, the male energy started speaking, and it was almost like, yeah, because we're tired of you, we're not your like pawn, you know, your puppet, where like when you feel like it, and then when you don't feel like it, we're the villain kind of a thing. And I feel like that's happening a little bit over here too. Yeah, when you want to be with me and you act like you have all this stuff, it's great, but then the minute you think I'm trying to take it, then I need strength to deal with your BS because you're acting like I want it when I'm not here for that. I'm here for this Lover's card, asking you to be the King of Cups. Yeah, I'm getting the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, negative female energy about money. And I'm sorry, but this, just so the male energy is clear, this Emperor in reverse energy, dating somebody like this is like chasing somebody around in a diaper. Oh my God, could you just put that down? Leave that alone. Don't follow that. Don't eat that. Don't do that. Stop doing that. Don't do that. That's what dating somebody like that is like. Literally running after a toddler. Disappointing to a woman to find a man or pick a man or envision this with a man, and especially if they move forward and have children with them, to be betrayed in such a way, like where it'd be like to be cheated on before they even have the child. Here's our Knight of Cups. And just be betrayed already to the point where we have to heal from stuff. King of Wands in reverse, again, this player energy. And at times too, when we can't walk around, again, wanted an Emperor to protect our family, still waiting, have no freaking idea if or when that's going to come, right? To the point where we're not even sure if this is our life anymore. It's disappointing, as I was going to say, to be able to look back on a life and not be able to find one single male figure that was admirable enough to say, you know, I want my son to be like that, or I want to meet someone like that, right? And I know men get upset when women generalize or they act like, you know, all men are like that, and I get that. I know that we all haven't figured it out, and I know that even when we're asking for something, that we may not necessarily know what we're asking for. Although, again, I do feel like the Emperor is on the table twice. Right? Upright twice. So it's kind of like, I feel like it's a possibility that the male is blindfolded enough to not realize that the woman knows exactly what an admirable male looks like. Her problem is she can't find one. Now, this is, again, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. I'm not saying there's no men out there. No men out there and can't find one are two different things, right? So I guess towards the end of this, and we won't put too much time into it, but we're going to, briefly again talk about belief systems. If us as females feel like, we're going to be asking for this, but all we're going to be getting is this, then it's a possibility that we may not be able to come close to this the way we envision it, because we have these belief systems that are getting in the way. We need to understand that that emperor is out there, that they're not all in reverse, and that person, that exact perfect person that we were looking for when we decided that we want the emperor, even if they show up and they look a little different, it'll still be them, right? We won't need the strength in the relationship because that person will meet us halfway. We won't have to wish for anything because that person will bring love. We won't have to worry about anything else or cutting anyone else off or protecting ourselves because this person will bring that. They'll bring that. But again, we're going to take a moment to talk about not giving to the wrong person. Don't give to the wrong person. If they're not bringing what you want, then don't give to them. Have conversations with people that are, respectful. Allow people to understand where you're coming from. Tell them in a way that, you understand that it's not strictly them or that there's a problem with them. It's just an issue with compatibility and what you're looking for and how it's not wrong or right to be any certain way. Like, people should inherently know this. This is why it's so hard to break up with people now, because everybody takes offense to everything. And it's like, listen, we don't have to be compatible. Okay, there's the whole, statistically possible thing involved. And the more we get into things and the more we get to know somebody, we find more about them, we have to decide, is this compatible with me or is this not? But again, not looking, not knowing, and deciding doesn't count. I believe we said this in the last one. Getting to know people. Dating means like finding out who you're going to go out with ahead of time and then planning for that. Again, not being out meeting somebody when you're with your homies. If that's what people are calling dating, don't give dating a bad reputation because you're doing it wrong. So we said it in both videos. I feel like both energies were represented pretty fairly. I will keep them as two separate videos, and I'll just do a part 1 and part 2 on these. Feel free to comment if you agree, disagree. For the most part, this is like the other video where a lot of the comments that I'm hearing are stuff I've heard before. So may resonate, may not, or something may not have come up. That's very true. Something may not have come up on this table in either reading that's prevalent in the reason why people don't date. If it's an issue that isn't necessarily something within the female or within the male or the counterparts that are involved, then I would say that it's a possibility that what's been on the table needs to be mastered first. Because before we can come together in some kind of harmony, we have to be in harmony within ourselves. So again, these belief systems, if we're bringing them, we're already coming out of balance. We're bringing that. So keep that in mind until we meet again.